7:30, I'll call the meeting to order, the Common Council for Monday, August 7th. Thanks to everyone in the audience this evening joining us. We appreciate your being here, as well as anyone attending online and here with us tonight through our Zoom call. I'd like to call the meeting to order then. If you could call the roll, please, Ms. Farren.
Anderson,
Here.
Appenfeld,
Here.
Burnett,
Here.
Barry,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Hanson,
Here.
Keel,
Here.
Mark, Olson,
Present.
Perkins.
Here.
Wissell,
Here.
Yudz,
Here.
Stop.
Here.
Please let the record show that Alderperson Mark and Bonnet are absent and excused. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment for silent deliberation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item number 3 is time for informal public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak to council this evening about anything not on the agenda? If you're here for something that's specific on the agenda already, there'll be time for that tonight. Is there anyone that would like to speak about anything not related to the agenda, either here in person or online? Anyone that would like to speak to council regarding any topic this evening, this would be the time to do that. And again, anyone online or in person that would like to speak with council about any issue. All right, very good. We'll move on then to agenda item number 4, announcements. I'd just like to thank the community for coming out and supporting the splash pad opening, for council support of that. It's really a great project for the community. Kids are out, families are out and enjoying that. I want to always thank John Newman for his work and the team's work for operations and getting that in place, as well as the whole team that helped put that together. I know Todd was really involved in working with MSA. Of course, the donators, I want to just recognize the top 3. There's a long list that I hope we can supply a list to everyone coming up here, but the 3 largest donators, $100,000 from the Newman family for the splash pad, $100,000 from Fred Schwartfigger from Horicon Bank, and then $200,000 from National Exchange Bank and Trust for the eventual replacement of sidewalks throughout the park. So a lot of other donations, of course, that are just hugely impactful and meaningful to the project and couldn't get done without their help as well. And like I said, I hope we have that. I do want to give a shout out to our alderpersons who made a special contribution to that. Dave and his wife, Hanson, as well as Kay and Terry Oppenfeld, Matt and Heidi Freeby, a former alderperson, as well as our former alderperson, John Abfall and his wife. So moving on to reminders of things happening. The Summer Farmers Market, Tuesdays and Saturdays, as a reminder to everyone to participate and support our local market. Cycle Center for the Music is happening on Tuesday nights. Music in Swan Park is still happening on Wednesday nights. The Lake District Annual Meeting is this Saturday, 8:30 a.m. at the high school auditorium, Saturday, August 12th. Also on Saturday, August 12th is Dog Days of Summer downtown. So if you have your dog, feel free to bring your dog downtown and participate in a lot of fun things that area businesses and the Arts Center have going on. And then I was going to ask Bobby to talk about the community theater. They've got a great show going on right now. It seems to be quite popular to remember that we have great theater that you can participate in and attend. And then as well as next week is the Dodge County Fair, where thousands of people come out to enjoy all of the activities and music and fair food, as well as rides, and not to forget the hard work that our area 4-H students do and getting involved and really sharing their talents and growing leaders through that program. I can't speak enough about how valued that program is overall. So if you get there, please make sure to support all of the exhibits, all of the animal barns, and they appreciate that very much. Any other announcements from council members? Does anybody have anything that you'd like to share? National Night Out? I was gone. Does anybody want to share anything about that? Kevin, could you talk about?
Thanks. Yeah, I was there. I was surprised at the turnout. They had a great turnout.
Good.
There was a lot of people there, a lot of vendors. The police departments were great. The Dodge County Police Department and the Beaver Dam Police Department, they had a presence there, and they were really great. They were had free ice cream and free hot dogs and demonstrations. It was a good time.
Thank you. And thanks again to our organizers of that. Also want to just thank all of the groups for coming out to participate in that. It is a fantastic event to keep in mind for next year. Again, we have that usually set up right away at the beginning of August. And I was sorry to miss it for our vacation, but next year. All right, anything else?
Mayor, we ought to actually, there's one alder that we missed in recognizing their donation, Jack Yetz, and family.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Jack. I wonder, did I say that the other day and missed you? I don't think I don't know that I knew that. Okay, well, thank you, Jack, and to Linda very much.
Whether you wanted the recognition or not, Jack,
Well,
you can pay me later. Teasing.
good. All right, moving on to agenda item number 5, city administrator report.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Nothing
We
to
can move
report.
on.
Oh, wow, write that down. Okay, number 6, disposition of minutes of the common council meeting from July 17th, 2023. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Thank you, Alderperson Hanson. Second from Alderperson Keel. Thank you. Any comments or questions, discussion regarding the minutes? All those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Thank you. Moving on to communications. Ms. Farren, do we have any communications this evening?
We have one communication this evening from our Deputy City Clerk Cheryl Laurie. I wanted to inform everyone that I, Cheryl Laurie, will be leaving the city of Beaver Dam, and my role as Deputy City Clerk. My last day will be Friday, August 11th, 2023. I have accepted a position with the school district, and I'm excited to start my new journey. I wanted to say thank you to everyone for this great opportunity where I've grown and learned so much. I have a fond new appreciation for those that work in a municipality. Coming from working directly with different departments, I have to say that I also learned that the people that work within those departments very much matter, each and every one of you. You all play an important role in making the city run efficiently. There are just a few that have been here for a very long time and are valuable with knowledge that can't be brought by a new hire. And yet a new hire can bring new ideas, which are also valuable. All in all, each one should be valued, respected, and should be working as a team to make the city work well within. The city will go on without me, and trust me, it will all work out. There may be a few bumps in the road with the new hire coming into this role and going through the learning curves. And I sincerely hope with those bumps comes forgiveness, as we all are only human. The next person to take over will have big shoes to fill. Okay, now I am being biased, but in all honesty, one cannot learn everything in one day, 1 week, or even a year. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Things do change over time. I shall leave you with this: when one door closes, remember that another door will open up. Keep your heads held high, smile and laugh, as it will help you through your days. I wish nothing but the best for the city, its employees, and the Common Council. Sincerely, Cheryl Laurie.
Thank you, Ms. Farren. Want to especially thank Cheryl, of course, for her service to the city, and she had a great attitude, and we just enjoyed working with her. All right, we will move on then to agenda item number 9, Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce update on tourism by Shannon.
You want to do the
Oh,
bills?
I'm sorry, the bills. Sorry, missed that one. Agenda item number 8 that I crossed off and just skipped over. I'd entertain a motion to approve the bills this evening. Alderperson. I saw Alderperson Perkins move, but Alderperson Wissell.
Yes, I move that we pay the bills.
Okay, thank you, Alderperson Wissell. Is there a second? Alderperson Burnett. Thank you. Comments, questions? All those in favor of approving the bills, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Very good. Now we will move on to agenda item number 9, Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce update on tourism by Shannon Cooley. Is it Cooley? Cooley. Okay, thank you. And if you can hold the microphone.
Wasn't your idea, huh?
Yeah, you gotta kind of hold it next to your mouth, please, in order for you to come over it.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Cooley, and I am the new marketing tourism manager for Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce. And I'm happy to be here to present some of the work that we've done since January. Just a little bit about me. I have 4 children. I am married and I live in Reeseville. And I have plenty of experience in marketing. And I have to say from 2011, I've been dabbling in social media, helping local nonprofits and small businesses, and have just obtained my associate's degree from MATC.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So here we are, tourism. I'm just going to give you the thumbs up. Here, Todd's my wingman. So I just wanted to present some photos of the new water tower and how excited tourism is to see this new branding of the logo. And the importance of understanding that fishing is a big part of tourism in the state of Wisconsin. And I think this is a great move, and tourism is embracing this. One of the first items that I've worked on is our See Wisconsin Tourism Magazine. Everyone has a copy of that in front of them. This tourism magazine is distributed to over 700 prime locations on all of Wisconsin's highway routes. So your welcome centers, Chamber of Commerce's, you're going to find this magazine that talks about different areas to visit. It highlights festivals in Beaver Dam, including the Wisconsin Arts and Peony Festival, Best Dam Fest, and Fall Downtown Fest. It also highlights must-sees in Beaver Dam, including the lake and river, Horicon Marsh, biking and hiking trails, the BDACT Theater, downtown Beaver Dam shopping, the Wall Dog murals, Beaver Dam Raceway, and Uga Brewing. We chose these features because they're amenities here in Beaver Dam that we think bring in tourism. That is the actual ad that you're going to find on page 20. The Dodge County Community Visitor Guide is another advertisement we have. I did not bring that one with me. It is distributed to 35,000 copies are distributed throughout Dodge County and Columbia, Dane, Sauk, Fond du Lac, and Washington counties, as well as the I-90-94 corridor, Wisconsin Dells, the Wisconsin State Fair in Northern Illinois. And this is the ad. Again, we're featuring the arts, shops and dining, lake and river, parks and rec, and incredible events, including everything that we talked about, Arts and Peony, Best Dam Fest, Taste Wisconsin, etc. This is our newly updated A to Z visitor guide. This gets distributed to businesses and organizations, is also housed in the Chamber of Commerce. This is kind of a quick guide that we give visitors that has things broken down between attractions, local arts and culture, even things like the post office. When you're visiting, sometimes you need those things. 8,000 copies are printed and housed at the Chamber of Commerce, and we've gone through a little bit more than half this year already. This year, we decided to attend Canoecopia again at the Alliant Energy Center, March 10th through the 12th. We did share the costs with Dodge County Tourism, and this was manned by volunteers, including the mayor and executive director, BD Chamber. And the marketing materials we took were the tourism guides that you see, the visitor guides, the A to Z visitor guides. The Beaver Dam Lake maps were well received. Dodge County visitor guides, park and rec rat cards they brought. We gave away about 250 guides for Canoecopia, and the attendance there was about 12,500 people. We also collected 200 emails. That was done in collaboration with a giveaway that a lot of our businesses stepped up for to give a free one-night stay on Beaver Dam Lake. We also attended the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel Sports Show from March 9th through the 12th. This show was a little bit longer, Thursday through Sunday. We also shared the booth with Dodge County Tourism and was also manned by volunteers and me, tourism. We gave the same giveaway as Canucopia, also collected about 200 plus emails. We gave away about 150 guides and maps, and the attendance there was about 18,000 people. These trade shows had low attendance. They're just coming back off of COVID. And this particular trade show has different hands managing it this year. So it was a little bit different vibe. But the sports show encompassed hunting and fishing, that kind of outdoor recreational hiking and biking trails. Canucopia was very niche and specific to just paddling. This is our guide. Everyone has a copy of. We ordered 14,000 guides this year, and we have approximately 1,100 left, which is absolutely wonderful. 8,000 guides were distributed to local residents directly, and they're also distributed to the Wisconsin Visitor Centers, hotels, the Horicon Marsh, Beaver Dam and Dodge County Parks, the Watermark, and local and surrounding area businesses. The guides are also used in goodie bags for bigger events that we put together that are hosted at the Family Center Ice Arena, the BDACT, and the Nancy Zeman Sewing Studio, to name a few. They're also housed at the Chamber of Commerce. This is one of the ads that was featured in Our Wisconsin magazine. This ad was directed towards our target audience of female for the Arts and Peony Festival. This ad has about 100,000 paid subscribers in all 72 counties in Wisconsin. And bus tours were actually booked due to this ad, and visitors that came to the Arts and Peony Festival also mentioned seeing this ad as well. We also featured an ad, and I don't know why that looks funky, in the Inspire magazine. This is a local magazine that's distributed throughout Dodge, Washington, Jefferson, and Columbia counties in Fond du Lac. There was also a 2-page feature article written about Owen's Peony Farm and the Arts and Peony Festival. These copies are delivered to area businesses and they're free to the public. We are advertising in the Best of Dodge. I don't know if some of you have seen some of these advertisements, but we have a 4-page spread that we share advertising with DBDI. And each publication of the Best of Dodge is mailed directly to over 21,000 homes 4 times a year in Dodge County. We do house them at the Chamber, and Palenque has them as well. Our ads are pretty consistent. We've decided to continue the consistency with the calendar of events and showcasing things to do in Beaver Dam, including our Wisconsin Arts and Peony Festival Farmers Market and our major events. Some of the other things that you can see in some of the ads, you can go to the next one. We also feature Beaver Dam Raceway, the BDACT, the Muskies, Horicon Marsh, the Great Beaver Paddle Festival. Unfortunately, that was canceled, and Taste of Wisconsin. Go to the next one. We had a full page spread for Arts and Peony. What's unique about the Arts and Peony Festival, it is a festival that lasts quite a while. The farm opens June 5th, but the major part of those days are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we did get some overnight hotel stays because of this festival. Go to the next. This is our June through August, same layout, calendar, vacation in your own backyard, featuring some of our live music events, Dodge County Fair, Corn Roast, Beaver Dam Pepper Festival, and Wine Tour, which are all coming up. Some of the ads for the Farmers Market, Arts and Peony Festival, Taste of Wisconsin, and West Dam Fest. This was our Arts and Peony Festival billboard ad that was on Highway 151 north of Burnett Street. Weekly impressions of 68,000. They did not have someone that wanted to buy. It stayed up there for probably 3 months. So we got 2 months of free advertising.
Nice.
This on the top left is our banner that we featured downtown. We had 2 banners downtown. The flyer that we made is on the right. And we also did advertising through radio ad targeting. And as you can see, it's all the counties around Dodge County. We also did a segment on community comment twice, which featured our special guest, Sarah Chichek, who has about 700,000 TikTok followers, and she is from Beaver Dam. This is our third year with Arts and Peony, our second year with the art market. Our art market has grown from 20 to 70 vendors. We had 70 people sign on, 63 people showed, so we had some cancellations. We also incorporated a brunch and blossoms downtown stroll on Friday and Saturday, which encouraged our visitors to engage and purchase at local shops, restaurants, and organizations. And basically we're given a map. They had to fill out their map with stickers. They brought their map back. We gave them a free watering can and wildflower seeds. We also had chalk artists, chair painting. So a very great embrace community event with the downtown businesses and individuals. We also did have a social media collaboration and influencer via Sherpa, and I'll go on to talk about that in the next couple slides. Our branded content and news article was through Madison Media. You won't have to click on that one. And through State Point Media. So we'll talk about State Point Media. State Point Media takes my 250 word write up on the right with photo, and they throw it out to about 100 different newspapers all over the state. We had 47 placements. Half of those placements were front page online news that they grabbed, which was great for us. We had about, I think it was almost 6 million views of that advertisement. We'll go to the next one. This is our summary of the branded content through Madison Media. This is an article that was written in collaboration with them. And this just shows on the right side what it looked like on social media. Next one. This is really great information about our target audience, which was 80% female that read the article, which was right on target with what we did with our social ads for advertising for targeting our audience. 4,000 page views, 2,900 users, 157,000 impressions, which is wonderful. 8,500 clicks, 5.39% CTR. So CTR is a click-through rate. We'll talk more about that in the next couple slides. But the benchmark for CTR in marketing is 0.9%. And so we've exceeded by far our benchmark for CTR with 5.39%. The social ads that we ran on Facebook, this was our target audience, female ages 25 to 65. These are the interests that we use for targeting: gardening, festivals, fairs, quilting, crochet. The next one. These are the things we look for as a marketer: key performance indicators. So CTR is very important. That is your click-through rate. This is the number of clicks that your ad receives divided by the number of times your ad is shown to our impressions. There are two types of CTR. There's unique CTR, and then you have your CTR overall. How it's calculated. So anything that when you're on social media, if you're on Facebook and there's a sponsored ad that you see in your feed, if you click on it, if you open it, if you comment on it, if you like it, that is taking that and taking your percentage comes from dividing the number of clicks with your impressions. So reach and impressions are very important. So our CTR rate for Facebook for our Arts and Peony ad was 4.48%. Again, industry average was 0.9%. So we did really well on both our Arts and Peony Fest event and our Art Market event, which was 4.06. Event responses. This data is collected using, so we targeted using designated market areas. And our designated market areas were Milwaukee, Chicago, Madison, Green Bay, La Crosse, Wausau, Rhinelander, Minneapolis. Our top 4, so these are the people that responded to our Facebook event. Number 1 was from Milwaukee. Number 2 was from Green Bay, Appleton. Number 3 was from Madison, and number 4 was Chicago. These are some of the reels and videos that we ran during the campaign. You can click on one if you want. Next. This was one of the reels that we ran for our art market. Next. Overall, we had approximately 5,000 visitors that came to Beaver Dam. We were very busy Monday through Sunday. We weren't open Sunday though. The farm was very busy on Sunday, even in the rain. Our busiest days were Thursday through Saturday. Normally we get a shuttle bus on Saturday. We had to hire a shuttle bus on Friday, and we could have used one on Thursday. There were 3 bus tours that were booked because of the Arts and Peony Festival and our advertising. Our social media, Facebook was the overwhelming vessel that was used by visitors that saw our ads. So about 70% of the people that we talked to saw our ads on Facebook. And in 2025, we will be hosting the American Peony Society Convention in Beaver Dam, and we're working on that right now. Hotel stays, we had about 9 stays at the Comfort Inn and Suites. American had 2 or 3. Super 8 had 2 that was confirmed through visitors. Holiday Inn had a wedding booking that weekend, so they didn't have much availability. We also had a Lake Life Rentals that was booked and had an extended stay for Arts and Peony and for the Paddle Fest. And Durgee Park was confirmed by 2 visitors and 1 art vendor that they stayed there. So moving on, in conjunction with all of our advertising, our visitbeaverdam.com website is being helped a little bit with our Google AdWords that have started running this February. The purpose for this is you're probably more familiar when you're doing a Google search, so I'll just explain it. When you are searching something and you're writing in your words in your search box, those are keywords, and Google AdWords helps generate traffic to your website by pushing out those keywords and grabbing those people to get to your site. So the strategy is to pay for sponsored ads, which you'll see. So when you type something in your Google search, like things to do in Beaver Dam, you're going to see that visitbeaverdam.com is going to have a sponsored ad. It's going to say sponsored under it. And every time you click on a sponsored ad, we pay for that. So don't click on it. So this is what we're working on through the year. We're right now, I actually just updated our keyword search. So we do have a advertising budget by month as to what events and things that are going on with Beaver Dam that we kind of structure it to. So we can go to the next one. So our paid search benchmark. So from February 1st to July 10th, this is our updated data that we have. So our best CTR was when we had festivals this weekend. It was 12.95%. Average click-through rate, so CTR, back to that again, for anything Google search network is 3.1%. That's a benchmark. So you can see that our Google AdWords are working at 12.95%. This is the amount of impressions that our website has seen. This is the amount of clicks. So 80,000 impressions, 10,000 clicks, 12.95% CTR, again, exceeding the benchmarks. So this is the amount of times you see a sponsored ad. So 80,000 times, 10,000 people have clicked. And that's how that all works out. And some of the keywords you're going to see: performance by ad groups. These are the keywords that we are using in our advertising for AdWords. And some more keywords. Keywords change by month just depending on what events that we're focusing on. So this month would be Pepperfest, Wine Tour, Corn Roast. Upcoming months will be Downtown Fall Fest and holiday events, Rotary Lights, anything that's getting people to the downtown. And this is overall CTR for the months. This is our revised budget schedule, what we're focusing on. And moving on, Taste of Wisconsin was another big hit we advertised on for marketing dollars. So these are the flyers on the right, and we have a video on the left, but you can't see it. So go ahead to the next one. Our Facebook ads for Taste of Wisconsin were awesome. Our ad set started May 17th through June 16th. Industry average again, 0.9% for CTR. We exceeded that by 8.91%. So our goal for this advertisement was to drive traffic to the website and get people to purchase tickets. In comparison for last year's event, last year they had approximately 680 people. This year we had about 900 people with a 30% increase in sales. So it's working. We also had radio ads run in conjunction with that as well, and Arts and Peony Fest and Best Damn Fest. Moving on, this was Best Damn Fest advertisement and reel. You want to click on one of those, particularly, yeah, that one. We also did radio ad targeting in conjunction with Best Damn Fest and Best Damn Music Fest. Our Facebook event ads, so we did, Best Damn Fest had their own marketing dollars. We also gave them money to help them market their portion of the festival. We did go ahead and run ads for Best Damn Music Fest. And again, our CTR 7.67% with industry average 0.9%. So it did really well. And I think the footprint there showed that there's a lot of people in attendance. Other things that we've advertised, so the Horicon Marsh, which isn't too far away. This is an advertisement reel that we did and boosted, which got about 18,000 video plays. Our post engagement was over 7,000. Link clicks was 430. So if you want to click on that one. So this was in conjunction with their bird festival and their wildflower days. The next one. So we do have we work in collaboration with social media influencers, which is very important with social media. And we work through a site called Sherpa, and they find the social influencers. We create kind of this itinerary. They apply for it. We decide if they're the right fit, and they come in and they follow the agenda and itinerary. They take photos and pictures, which we get for free, kind of. And yeah, it's paid for, but it's worth its weight in gold. So Marissa Younger from Wisconsin Cottywomple has about 55,000 followers on Instagram. And she, for example, came for the Arts and Peony Festival, and we got all of her photos and videos that she took that we can use in upcoming Arts and Peony Festival events. Her one video that she made, she had numerous, but one of her videos reached 48,000 views. Upcoming adventures we have in line: Thrifting Fun and Lunch in Beaver Dam, a day of art, wine, and live music, Beaver Dam Raceway, Fall Downtown Fest, and Rotary Lights and holiday events. And we finally have our tourism video of the lake, working in conjunction with Jesse Wilson. He put this together, and yeah, I think it turned out really well. I'm excited to be working with Jesse. Before you play it, We are working on another video that features the Arts District. He will be taking footage of the BDACT Margaritaville on Thursday and putting together a nice video that features our murals, the DCCA, Art on the Town. We'll be doing classes. That'll be a nice kind of commercial ad that we can use in social. You can go ahead and play it.
Welcome to the breathtaking beauty of Beaver Dam Lake, a paradise for sportsmen fishing and outdoor enthusiasts. Immerse yourself in the serenity of this vast 6,700-acre lake, home to a variety of fish species just waiting to be caught, with numerous public boat landings all around the lake. Reel in the excitement as you embark on an unforgettable fishing adventure, surrounded by nature's splendor and the thrill of the catch. Looking for a different kind of adventure? Grab your kayak and paddle the calm waters along 42 miles of shoreline and explore the 22 islands on the lake, or venture down the meandering river, surrounded by urban landscapes and picturesque countryside. For family fun, hop aboard a pontoon and take a leisurely ride. You never know what you might see. Soaking in the sun, laughter, and joy that comes with a day on the water. Featuring some of the best lake sunset views in the area. After a day on the lake, unwind and relax in the comfort of Beaver Dam's nightlife and diverse dining scene. Rest easy in our exceptional hotels or indulge in a charming lakefront Airbnb. Beaver Dam Lake offers an array of opportunities for sportsman fishing, water sports, kayaking, relaxing pontoon rides, and unforgettable lake adventures with live entertainment and neighborhood pubs and restaurants to round out your stay. Discover more about why life here is good and start planning your Beaver Dam Lake getaway vacation at visitbeaverdam.com.
Some of the upcoming projects that we have going on right now are, we have some tourism development projects. So I've worked in collaboration with some of you from the city regarding, possible projects that we can move forward. We do have money in the budget that we're looking at spending on aesthetics for the city. So one of those projects is putting up banners on the light poles would be one. We just have a variety of different projects, and you're more than welcome to come to the tourism meeting on Thursday to have that discussion. Also the tourism videos and branding. So I think an important aspect of marketing is branding of who we are. What is Beaver Dam? When you look at your logo, what do you think of? Those are the kind of things that you want to keep top of mind at all times. And I think we're moving in that direction. So continuing with the videos and the commercials and updating them is a very important aspect of that. So the website. So if you have not yet been to the website, visit beaverdam.com. We are working slowly but diligently on adding additional web pages. So I just finished about a month and a half ago, a live music, because we have so many live music events here in Beaver Dam. We needed to have a one-stop shop for people when they come and visit, of knowing what's all going on here in the city. Additional web pages I'm working on in conjunction with some of our local guides and fishing people. We would like to do just a page on fishing and lake and river. So some of those things, and keeping your content fresh, that's a constant thing. It's a lot of work. It's, some of you probably know if you're managing websites, but it's important to keep doing that and making sure that your content and your copy and your imagery is fresh and aesthetically looking nice. So we are also moving into updating our community and visitor guide for 2024. I'm also working on the historical walking tour maps. We have that map updated and consolidated into one map instead of two, so we're not wasting so much paper. And initially I have an idea of adding that portion to the website as well. We are also adding, the 3D mural walking tour. So the Wall Dogs murals. We have Omar that has worked diligently in putting this together. Now we're just waiting to get that integrated with our website. So that will be hopefully going live within the next couple of weeks. But additionally, it would be nice to add that historical walking tour. And I have actually talked to Dodge County Historical Society and they're on board. So upcoming events: Dodge County Fair, 60th Annual Corn Roast, Wine Tour, Pepper Fest, Fall Town Town Fest, holiday events, and Rotary Lights are all on our radar right now. And that is your visitbeaverdam.com page. I invite everyone to go out to the website. If you see anything that you think would be beneficial to adding to the website, please feel free to contact me.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Wonderful. And any comments or questions from council?
Mayor, if I may, I just want to make a comment that I have really enjoyed the privilege of working with both Shannon and Tracy. I can't speak highly enough of our chamber and of the tourism promotion that's happened here in Beaver Dam, and I've seen it. I've been in other communities, and I just want to applaud this community for the collaboration, the efforts. It really is impressive. And I know I'm the new kid on the block still a little bit, but I can personally vouch for just the professionalism and the wonderful working relationship that we have with our chamber, and just really, really grateful for that.
Yeah, outstanding work. Thank you. I think it's worthwhile to point out once again that all of this happens because of council and your decision to take hotel funds that were not designated for tourism and to put them towards tourism and that direction of what, has been, an initiative through both Governor Walker, Governor Evers in building tourism for our state. So I thank council for their support of that financial move that we made a few years ago, which definitely helps. All right, moving on to our ordinances. We will start with our ordinance number 6, please.
Ordinance number 6-2023, an ordinance creating section 62-14, all-terrain vehicle, utility terrain vehicle use of the Beaver Dam Municipal Code. This is a second reading.
Thank you, Ms. Farren. Because this is a second reading, I'll open it up for public comment. So is there anyone in the audience or online with us this evening that would like to speak for or against ordinance number 6-2023? If you'd like to speak, I just need you to raise your hand. I'll have people come forward. You would take the microphone and use it just like Shannon did, and state your name and address, and then you can share your thoughts on this ordinance. Anybody that would like to come forward? Is there anyone online that would like to speak to council regarding ordinance number 6-2023? Anyone in person that would like to speak and share their thoughts for or against ordinance number 6-2023? And I'll ask just one more time. Anybody online or in person that would like to speak in regards to ordinance number 6-2023? All right, very good. Since there is no discussion from the audience, I will bring it back to council for deliberation. Any comments, questions on ordinance number 6-2023? I think we'll start with Alderperson Zopp if you wanted to give some clarification on the ordinance.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So the Operations Committee did make some amendments to the ordinance that was originally presented to the public during the informational hearings a while back. And I just wanted to touch base on those hearings because they are important. So for those in the audience or the press, please be aware that should the ordinance be approved tonight, it would not go into effect until the city of Beaver Dam has posted signage to that effect, right? So if approved tonight, it's still pending signage before it becomes official if approved. We also, Operations Committee removed the prohibition on certain streets. What that means is basically if approved in its current form is all streets in Beaver Dam, Spring Street, Center Street, all ins and out routes would be open for all terrain and UTV uses. So those are the two changes that we made in committee that we are presenting here for full council's consideration tonight. Thank you. Thank
you, Alderperson Zopp. Questions, comments, Alderperson Burnett and then Anderson.
Thank you. I'm in favor of this, but we have a section 62-50 in our muni code that says, you can't be parking these recreational vehicles on your front lawn. If it is, it has to be on a paved portion in front of your house. I just wanted everybody to be aware of that you can't just have 3 utility vehicles parked on your front lawn.
Thank you. Alderperson Anderson.
Seeing as I am on the operations committee, and this is actually the first time I'm hearing that this will only go into effect as soon as the signage is posted. How are we going to notify the public when that has been completed?
Thank you for your question. So the memo that is in your packet was also presented back at operations several meetings ago. Todd, Director of Engineering, did put in there about the ordinance not going into effect until signage is posted. So we've been made aware of this numerous times. I would defer to Nathan, the city administrator, on how we would advertise said signage.
We'd go through the normal kind of public announcements, PSAs that we've done in the past. So one, as staff, we'd make sure that we have the signage necessary. We'd have kind of a plan for installation. And as soon as we had kind of a specific set date, we would then put together a press release and also make individuals aware through social media as well. We've had pretty good relationships with the radio and also with the newspaper. So I'm not too concerned about the public becoming aware. I do think that it's important, Zach, that you, or Alderperson Zopp, that you mentioned this, because I would hate for individuals to just assume that they can now, should the council move forward with this, that all roads are open and clear. It is necessary for the signage to be posted, but hopefully that answered the question of kind of process.
Alderperson Burnett and then Yance.
What difference does it make if it's posted or not? If the ATVs are allowed on all the roads in the city of Beaver Dam, why do we even need to post that they can go on the road? I mean, the ATV owners are going to know it. So I don't see what the difference is.
Yeah, I think it gives, this isn't an abnormal process. Most municipalities go through a process of waiting till signage. It provides some time for our police officers to properly know how to enforce and be prepared. So having a bit of space and time, I think one, it's not abnormal and it is appropriate. So clearly, if the council wanted to this evening to nullify what the ordinance says, you could change that. I guess you could make that amendment, but as put forth tonight, I'm understanding that the operations committee and what was published in the newspaper presented an ordinance where it would take effect as soon as signage was posted.
Alderperson Yance.
I'll be voting against this because any money that license fees goes for the ATVs goes to the DNR funds. They want to travel on the roads. That fee should go to the DOT or have a dual license fee. And if they have any driving violations, there is no points assessed. So you can drive and drive and drive with no, you can get a fine, but it'll never affect your driver's license. You can get picked up, was it 10 times in our notation here? And never get a point taken away from your driver's license. There's something wrong here. If they want to be on the road, it should be under the DOT laws, not the DNR laws. The DNR laws are for the lakes and trails, not the streets and highways and roads of the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderperson Zopp. Yes, Alderperson Hanson.
Just a question for Nathan, going back to the signage issue or the signage questions, what is been the timetable? What if this passes, what is the timetable? 2 months, 3 months estimation?
I don't have an estimation on that. I would defer to to Todd and to Dan, and I don't know if you guys are prepared in that. I mean, right now, street signs, when we go through the process of ordering signs, it takes a while. But I mean, do I think that it will be next year? I don't think it will be that long. I'm guessing 3 months would probably be in order. Dan, do you have a different thought process? Yeah. What I will say is it's not going to be a delay on our part. It's going to be the delay in ordering and getting them installed.
Alderperson Sapp.
So I did have conversations with the police chief about this matter, about timing, and he did relay that he requested time for training his officers because they have to learn DNR regulations. We will be asking them to serve as DNR wardens, not as police officers when they interact with an ATV or UTV. So that is what we were asking them to do. So they need time to train. So if we remove this part of the ordinance, my counterpoint would immediately be we need to add in a 30 or a 60-day delay to allow the police officers to learn DNR rules and act like wardens, and also communicate to the surrounding townships that our ATV UTV law ordinance is different than theirs. We require things like proof of insurance and whatnot that towns don't. So we need ourselves time to communicate. We also need time to train our DNR, our officers to act like DNR wardens. So just to clarify that point, while I have the floor, I have been conflicted about this. Holy cow. On one side, we're trying to open up personal freedoms, right? The other side, the risk of a public nuisance because of sound or whatever. Alder Yod's brought up risk of safety. We've seen the memo from Attorney Manthey about the difference in laws and basically how the laws are set up to incentivize riskier behaviors on ATVs, UTVs than you would otherwise be able to do in a vehicle, right? You could drive drunk on a lawnmower and get a felony, but you can't drive drunk on an ATV and get a felony unless you kill somebody. Right? That's in the memo. We can look that up on the memo. So I'm conflicted. So, you know, we know I went and I asked my ward, what do you guys want? And I think it made the papers. I got a lot of press about it I wasn't prepared for. But I got more responses too after that kind of initial press release got out. I got a lot of emails from people in my ward. I know we've all been getting sporadic emails from people that don't want to tell us their address or where they live or whatnot. But I got more emails from people in my ward, and in total, I got 39 responses. 21 were against. 16 were in favor as this law was, or this ordinance was written with the prohibition on certain streets. And only two were in favor of how this law is currently written, ordinance is currently written, right? That's only 5% of District 12 is in favor of this ordinance as written. So I can't vote for this law because it is not what my district wants. So I'm just letting you know that that's where my district lies, and I'll be following the direction of my ward. So thank you.
Alderperson Wassell.
As your city council president, I was asked to fill in for Bobby Mark a little bit. She's in Germany. She's not on, is she, Todd? I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning over there, and she didn't think she would be awake. So she asked me to read this for her. She says she's sorry. She's not able to attend tonight's meeting, If she was in attendance, she would vote no to the proposed ATV UTV ordinance for several reasons, the biggest one being safety. And she did quite a bit of research online. Both the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Federal Consumer Product Safety Commission opposed allowing ATVs, UTVs on public roads. These agencies are devoted to the study of data related to product safety and have determined that increased use on public roads will lead to more injuries and deaths. She goes on to say, it is not surprising to me that groups dedicated to public safety do not endorse our proposed change. But what was surprising to me is that two national organizations dedicated to the promotion and support of ATV, UTVs are also opposed to their use on public roads. Both the National Off-Highway Vehicle Conservation Council and the Specialty Vehicle Institute of America oppose expanding use of these vehicles to public roads. The Specialty Vehicle Institute of America is a not-for-profit trade association sponsored by manufacturers such as Honda, Kawasaki, Polaris, Suzuki, and Yamaha. The following comes from their website. ATVs are designed, manufactured, and sold for off-road use only. Permitting on-road use of ATVs, including modified ATVs, would be in conflict with manufacturers' intentions for their proper use and would be contrary to federal safety requirements. The Specialty Vehicle Group also emphasized, excuse me, that ATVs are not designed, manufactured, or in any way intended for use on public streets, roads, or highways, and urges that non-highway use of ATVs be prohibited and that law enforcement efforts be strengthened to eliminate this dangerous practice. In addition, it should be noted that the recent buying trends show consumers continually favoring more and more pickups and SUVs. These types of vehicles have a limited ability to see low-profile vehicles such as ATVs and UTVs compared to traditional sedans. They also have higher centers of gravity, which data shows is more lethal when involved in a collision with other vehicles or pedestrians. On top of this, as Beaver Dam continues to grow, our city streets continue to see more traffic. I do not think it's wise to add low-profile ATV, UTVs to this mix. Thank you, Administrative Committee Chairperson Bobby Mark.
Thank you, Alderperson Muxell. Alderperson Anderson.
Yes, I'd just like to make an amendment to have this where it goes into effect September 12th at 12:01 a.m. if passed.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to put a date on it for September 12th. Not knowing if signage and everything would be ready and if staff would be ready, but I'm looking for a second on that amendment. Alderperson Burnett. Any comments, questions regarding the amendment? Yes, Alderperson Olson.
Just curious as the date, like why the date? Just
Yes, go ahead.
I just picked that date to allow time for the police officers to come up to speed and allow some training, yet not set it out so far away that it's months and months down the road. If there's a supply chain issue with signage, it's kind of a compromise. Because as it stands now, you could just not sign it for the next 2 years and it'll never go into effect if you don't have a deadline. So that's my concern.
One thing I will mention is the statutes do require us to sign the routes, whether it's the individual routes or signs at all the entrances to the city. So that is a statutory requirement. So just wanted to clarify that.
So my question is if we put a date of September 12th and we don't have that signage, then are we setting ourselves up for a problem?
Yeah, the routes, the signs need to be up for the routes to be
Yeah.
open.
Go ahead, Alderperson Anderson.
Is there a statute defining the signage? Can we simply put up a sign written in crayon that says ATV route?
The only thing that-
Reflective crayon.
Yeah. So the statute doesn't say the design of the signs, just that where the signs have to be located if you're opening up ATV routes. So one option is all the entrances to the city. One option is all the roads that it's that the roads are on.
So there's a motion on the floor with a second to set the date for opening this on September 12th. Any other comments or discussion regarding the amendment? Okay, hearing none, please call the roll, and this is for the amendment. If you vote yes, you agree with the amendment that would open, if this was passed, that you would agree to open the roads on September 12th. If you vote no, you're saying no to the amendment on opening on that specific date.
Anderson,
Aye.
Appenfelt,
No.
Burnett,
No.
Bree,
No.
Fisher,
No.
Hanson,
No.
Keel,
No.
Olson,
No.
Perkins,
No.
Wissell,
No.
Yads,
No.
Zop.
No.
Okay, the amendment fails. We're back to the ordinance in its original form. Comments, questions, discussion? Yes, Alderperson Wissell.
Well, like Alderperson Zog, this has been or Zop, I'm sorry, I always get you phonetically incorrect. This has been a back and forth issue because it has certainly good characteristics and negative sides. And so I'm voting tonight based on my constituents. I've had friends and other constituents certainly that would like this to pass, but because of the overwhelming number of people in my ward, I have to vote in their favor, and I'll be voting no.
Thank you. Lieutenant Reel, could you speak maybe for the police department? Yes, please. Chief Kreitzinger just mentioned that you might be able to share the thoughts, I guess, of the police department.
So
Yep.
okay, so we are not going to give our opinion. I don't want to influence. We are prepared to train the officers if it does pass. However, that will, I'm glad the September 12th didn't pass because that kind of limits us. We have to have the DNR come in and train us, not necessarily as wardens. I don't know where, we just need to know the ATV, UTV laws, which are unfamiliar to everybody for the most part. I am a little familiar being the chief of the township, which obviously it did pass. So I will answer any questions if I can. However, I'm not going to give opinions on whether I want it to pass or.
Sure. Or how the department feels. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any questions specific on the ordinance for Lieutenant Reel? Okay, thank you. Glad to hear though that if that were to pass, we know that we set it up appropriate for training then. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm in charge of setting up that training, so
Okay.
It probably would be before September 12th. I think the main contact person is actually going to be out on family leave for childbirth and so forth. So I would probably get it done before then, and I will do it probably in August if it does pass. However, there's quite a few parts to this ordinance that we need to be educated on, and plus it's more, to me, it's actually more strict than what the township is. So there's going to be some learning for the officers. And being a lieutenant, I'm not going to I'll be answering the questions when somebody calls to complain. However, I'll be less out there enforcing like the officers will be. So yeah, and as far as the signage, I guess I wouldn't feel a need for every street personally. The entrances to the city probably would be with the media, press releases and so forth, so.
Thank you. Alderperson Burnett?
Thanks. Have you had any issues in the town with ATVs
No,
since you made it legal?
well, no, I was just asked that. However, it's apples to oranges with a city and a township, so I am not familiar. I ride mine and we have land over by the Dells and I ride mine out there. However, that's completely different than a busy city. Which again, we're prepared to deal with it. However, it's apples to oranges in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think just to make sure that we play devil's advocate on both sides, I want to point out that both communities, at least that I've spoken with, Platteville and Waupun, have had no issue, or that I should not say haven't had issues, but they did feel like it was a contentious piece to put it into place, but it's smooth and they have not had issues around huge issues that have stemmed from it. And I would just, as to comments from organizations, my question back to those organizations on not allowing it would make me question, how do we allow bikes and motorcycles in our communities? And I'm pretty sure it's not a felony to drive a car drunk. It's a misdemeanor, your first offense. So anyway, I'm just making sure that both sides are heard. I've heard from both sides. I don't think it's a huge split. I think it's 50-50. That's what I've heard in other communities that have passed it. That it was, something that it was a difficult decision. And in the end, they have not really struggled with a lot of issues after. But that will be up to you now to make that decision. Further comments, Alderperson Keel?
I just do have a question on the time allowed. Wondering why 6 a.m. was set. I know when we had community members come forward at prior meetings, they discussed, using it for work, and if they work before 6 a.m., how are they supposed, So I'm just curious why 6 a.m. was picked. If it could be 5 a.m. or, I know there's a lot of workers that go in earlier. So
We'll take it back to the committee chair.
Sure.
Alderperson Zopp, do you remember the discussion on that?
Well, I stepped in as chair
That's right.
mid discussion on this. So when I arrived as chair.
Go back to Alderperson Yuds.
Alder
you wanna
Yuds.
take-
I believe if I remember right, this came down from the department heads kind of recommendations. It wasn't set in stone, but that was kind of what the surrounding cities have started out with. It's kind of like a probation period. We can always come back. Well, they came back and opened it up more. Waupun had it till 10 o'clock and the prison guards get off at 10. They wanted to open till 11, and then I'm not exactly what time in the morning they open up, maybe 6 or something like that, or 5, but that's the thing they use. But it kind of came down to us at 6. It was no particular discussion on 6. It just happened to fall in on that individual number.
well, I would just hope that if it does pass, that there is some leeway to that it can be brought back and, made earlier if people are interested. Because again, I wouldn't want to, if we pass it, why restrict it for anybody who's working early in the morning?
Yes, Lieutenant Real.
So I was actually one of the ones so I started at 5:30. I actually brought that to the attention of if, work traffic starts at about 4 a.m. roughly from my third shift days. I don't see at 4 o'clock, or that would be like the responsible people that are going out to work and so forth. I think the concern would be more the 11 to bar time type thing. That's my opinion. I have no problem enforcing it all night if I don't think a third shifter would either. That's not what I'm saying. I think there should be a time in there. However, I agree with the being able to move it a little bit, because let's be honest, I brought this to the chief's attention. We're going to be dealing with UTVs at 5 a.m. people going to work, and it's just going to cause issues in my opinion. So I have no problem, like an 11 to 4 or something like that personally. And I'm speaking on my own here a little bit, just from, I've been here 19 years and I can't speak for everybody, but I don't have a problem enforcing that I don't have a problem 4 a.m. or whatever the time is set personally. So just bringing that to your attention.
Sure, thank you. Alderperson Keel, do you want to follow up?
I just would like to make a motion then that we adjust the hours. If it would pass, that it would be, operation would be 4 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor then to amend that to the 11 to 4 period would be non-operational times. Yes, Alderperson Olson. Thank you, Alderperson Olson. Any comments or discussion then on that amendment? Yes, Alderperson Wissell.
The only comment I have is, I think maybe originally the 6 o'clock matched with our working outside times, where the noise requirement is 6 a.m.
Yes, Alderperson Olson.
I think the rebuttal to that was there's a lot of people firing up their Harleys at 4 a.m. and what's the difference? So, yeah.
You take that up with Harley. All right. Other comments then discussion on the amendment. Okay, so if you vote yes, you're agreeing to change the hours so that you're providing time for people to get to work. If you vote no, you're saying you want to keep the hours starting at 6 a.m. and ending at 10 p.m. Roll call, please.
Anderson,
No.
Appenfelt,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wissell,
No.
Yuds,
No.
Zap,
No.
Okay, that motion does carry. So now back to the ordinance. It's got the new times in there. Is there any further discussion on the ordinance itself? Does anybody need to say anything else regarding the ordinance? If there's no other discussion, we're gonna vote. So if you want to say something, make sure you do it. Okay, hearing no other discussion, we'll have you call the roll, please, Ms. Farren.
Anderson,
No.
Appenfelt,
No.
Burnett,
Aye.
Faree,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Yes.
Wissell,
No.
Yuds,
No.
Zap.
No.
Okay, the motion carries 7-5 on the ordinance, correct?
Mhm.
So as stated, that ordinance will not immediately go into effect, but it will over a period of time, and the community will be notified on when that will happen. Thank you to everyone for your discussion and consideration on the entire process for this, and to staff. Okay, moving on to ordinance number 7.
Ordinance number 7-2023, an ordinance repealing and recreating section 2.5 C to establish salaries of alderpersons. This is a second reading.
Because this is a second reading, I'll open it up for public discussion first. Is there anyone in the audience tonight or online that would like to speak for or against ordinance number 7? Again, anyone in the audience or online that would like to speak for or against ordinance number 7-2023? And one more time, any comment from anyone in the audience regarding ordinance number 7-2023? So I'm speaking to you tonight as a resident, Becky Gluen, 311 Morgan Lane, not the mayor. My representative is Joe Bonnet, who is not here this evening, but I wanted to discuss this because it's something that I have felt I really strongly stayed out of comments. If you could pass that around, please. And I wanted to touch base on just some things that I feel as a constituent I haven't been able to say or willing to say, I guess, along this whole conversation, because I didn't want to influence representation possibly when a lot of that conversation was brought forward from Mick Fisher on talking about reducing the size of our council. So in looking at this, there were a couple numbers that were missing when I looked at this. The data on here and comparing us and how much council members make in comparison to other areas. And if you look, first of all, on the number of council members on populations around our size, some that are much bigger, of course, a lot or most that are much bigger. But their council size is 7. This is something that Alderperson Fisher has brought forward numerous times in talking about the high number of council members that we have here. And actually, when you bring on a city administrator, it makes it more apparent on how difficult it is to communicate with that number of people and keep communications. I think that that's just one point I'd like to bring forward to you. The second point is talking about the number of the population that alderpersons represent in each of these communities. And on average, Beaver Dam is tied for the lowest representation at 1,203 people that each of you represents. And you can see that it's much higher. The average, again, for the 7 alderpersons at these communities is 2,153. You are highly, using we're using people to represent far fewer people than most communities. I think it's, first of all, irresponsible to bring this forward when it's not budget time and tying the hands of our community to something that is not during budget. I can't even believe that that would be a discussion since we've had such difficult conversations around budgets to begin with. This hasn't been brought or discussed. Nobody's brought this up. So I have to bring that forward. But just in saying, again, looking at that far right column, total council board salaries were already the highest in the cost of our overall cost for council, $54,600. And we know the impact of cost on our budgets, where we struggle every year to cut $1,000 or $2. And now with this projected increase, we'd be bumping that up to $71,400, potentially taking away funds from necessary services for our staff. I'm astounded. Thirdly, I don't know if I'm on number 3 or not, but I want to point out you make $325 a month. I just want to make sure the public knows that. I think that's a respectable amount of money, and especially for 2 meetings a month. And sometimes when we don't meet, sometimes we do extra, but like tonight, you started at 7. That means you have to be here until 10 o'clock to put in 3 hours. So if you plan 6 hours a month, and I'm assuming that you might have some reading that you're doing, I'm hoping that you're doing. 6 hours a month, that's $54 an hour. $54 an hour. I just want you to contemplate that as you're telling your constituents. Next, if you bump that up to $425 a month, you're saying that you deserve $70 an hour. I just want to point that out. Now I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt in saying that you're spending an extra hour and a half of time preparing for these meetings every 2 weeks. So that puts us up to 9 hours a month. You're making $36 an hour, or respectively, you would be making $47 an hour. So number one, on how to proceed, I really ask that you bring this back to the budget time where it should be decided during budget time. And number two, I ask that you, if you want to increase this, or even if you don't increase this, that you seriously consider the decrease in the number of alders. I think we've done some really good things over the last 6 years, and I've pressed on doing some visionary things for the city of Beaver Dam. I gave up my job for the city of Beaver Dam. So we have a city administrator. I think if you could say 3 years from now, 4 years, so it doesn't impact you, you could say 5 years from now, this change needs to happen and we need to reduce this to this number of older persons. That would be representing the city in the proper way. And that's me talking as a constituent. I feel that's responsible use of tax dollars. And I think that it's highly overdue. And again, it's been brought forward many, many times from Alderperson McFisher. And I appreciate that, but it's time as Ward 8 that I speak up and ask you to think at the bigger picture on this. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against ordinance number 7? All right. Yes, Alderperson Fisher. Oh, this is, no, I'm sorry, this is public. Anybody from the public want to speak? Okay, since we put it out 3 times, since we've done that, we're going to bring it back to council then for deliberation. Comments, questions, Alderperson Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your comments on this. First of all, let me say that this was not decided by that we should get a raise by any committee or any other alderpersons. This was strictly my idea. I brought this to the administrative committee, of which I'm a member, back in, I'm going to guess, May. The idea came to me after the spring election, where the odd number of wards, 7 of them, had no competition to the incumbents. Now, I've been on the council for 14 years, and I've never seen that happen before. We've always got 1, 2, 3, heaven only knows how many people we're going to have running against the incumbents. Now, I'm going to take you back to probably 30 years ago to when the entire council was replaced, and the council after that decided that we can't ever let this council be replaced again. So they broke it into odd and even. So no matter how bad of a job that your council is doing, you cannot vote them out of office in 1 year. That was done purposely. And the idea behind it was, well, we don't want to leave a council with no experience. Well, if the experience has been bad, then that's what we should do, is leave a council with no experience. We should get new council members in. So that's just a little history on how we get the 7-7 number there. After looking at the fact that we had no competition for the incumbents, I thought to myself, Self, you've been here a long time and you've never had a raise. I was on council back in the 80s. And if I remember correctly, we were making $300 a month. At that time, I donated my salary to the Chamber of Commerce. The argument against raising the salaries is, well, people don't run because of the money. Let me tell you, that's not true. I've talked to a number of older persons that have been on council that are not currently on council. And they almost cried when they lost the election because they, quote unquote, really needed the money. So money being an incentive to run for this office plays a part, along with your wanting to help your community and serve. So I dug back a little bit, and lo and behold, I found the ordinance where we got our last raise. And the last 4 digits on it were 1999, 24 years ago. We haven't had a raise. Did a little digging, and 24 years ago, a dollar today was worth 58 cents. So I don't know of another business in the city of Beaver Dam, probably in the state of Wisconsin, that hasn't given their employees a raise in 24 years. I'm not saying that because we up this $100 per month to $425 a month, which doesn't take effect for 2 years. 2025, this will go into effect. I doubt, I'm not going to make the promise I won't run again, but I don't plan on it at this point. So I will not be probably receiving the raise. This has nothing to do with Mick Fisher making more money. But I do believe that competition for these aldermanic seats is extremely important. And I think that we should be able to get more than just 1 or 2. I think we should have a healthy competition come election time. I'd like to thank the mayor for speaking on the number of older persons in this city. I brought this up in the year 2010, and we did a lot of research on it. It was right after the census was taken, and it was voted down by a couple votes. I also brought this up in the year 2020, which was right after the consensus. And our previous attorney, city attorney, Mary Ann Schacht, requested that I bring to her the information from 2010, which you say that maybe we only spend 6 hours a month. I'll tell you this, Mayor, I spend a hell of a lot more than 6 hours a month on that project. And I think that the fact that the older persons haven't had a raise in 24 years, I am going to be voting yes on this issue. But I by no means want to put pressure on anybody else. I think that the other 13 older persons should vote their conscience. I agree with the mayor that we've got way too many aldermen here. If we had, let's say, a ratio of 1 alderman for 2,000 people, we'd be back in the normal. But the fact that we'll be spending, instead of 58,000, 70,000, I think is well worth it to get some more competition. And maybe we can get some of the people, not only the council and not only the city employees, but the city residents, to take a look at, do we really need 14 aldermen? If we cut it in half, we'd be paying $35,000 for salaries at the new 4.25 a month. Now, I was told by an attorney years ago that this change could only be made in conjunction with the county, redistricting, et cetera, every 10 years. I was since told that's not true, that it can be done anytime. So I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, so I have no idea which one of those statements is true. But if it's true that we can do it at any time, then I would suggest we vote yes on this raise. And we vote yes on cutting the number of alderpersons in the city of Beaver Dam. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Alderperson Hanson.
This is for legal counsel. So what would it take us as a council to reduce our number?
So I don't recall the rules specifically on it. I do recall there is something to do with the census. And it might be a change to your charter ordinance, which it's just like a regular ordinance change. So I would need to just double check the rules on the timing of it, because I do recall something to do with the census on it.
Mayor,
Yes.
could I request, if the rest of the council agrees to it, request on the council's behalf that we have council look into what it would take to reduce this from 14 to 7? And let's look at this really with a fine tooth comb going forward, if we have a majority consensus from the council.
Yeah, please. You want to?
Yeah, so I think that's something that we could do, is just get a consensus on this issue, just sort of direction for us to look into it. We do need to make a decision on the salary ordinance itself, but this could be something we bring back for a future meeting date.
Just one comment, just to point that there, just to be aware, there still needs to be a change to the charter ordinance anyway. We haven't finished the whole administrator adjustment and update. So I wouldn't let that be a discouraging factor if it's something that there's sincere consideration for this. But it is good to be aware that there will need to be a change to the ordinance.
Alderperson Saab.
Could I move to call the question?
There's a motion on the floor to call the question. Is there a second? Alderperson Olson.
I'll second that.
Okay. Comments or questions on calling the question?
Can I just ask,
Yes.
so again, being new here, so are we questioning the number of alderperson? Or are we questioning?
No, we're only talking about the raise, the
Okay.
ordinance.
Okay.
And so we're going to first do a roll call vote to call the question. So if you vote yes, you're saying you want to call the question.
Oh.
Now, if you vote no, you're saying you want to have more discussion. Okay? Yeah,
May I make one more comment on this?
no, we're gonna call the question first, and then if you make it, you can make more comments, and if not, no more comments.
Anderson,
No.
Appenfelt,
No.
Burnett,
No.
Faree,
No.
Fisher,
No.
Hanson,
Aye.
Keel,
No.
Olson,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Wassell,
No.
Yads,
No.
Zap.
Yes.
Okay, so we are back to the original ordinance 7/2023. In discussion on the ordinance, the passing of salaries and the increase of salaries. Discussion for or against? Yes, Alderperson Yuds.
Just wanted to clarify. Some of us are on more than just two committees outside of the operation or admin and the city council. You know, there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 other committees, and a lot of us are on those other ones. So the pay rate per hour goes down. And if you're the chairman of that committee, believe me, you put a lot more time in. That's the person I believe who should get a raise. More, you know, a bigger raise, I should say, than anybody else, because you spend a lot of time digging through stuff and calling it, questioning stuff. But in the other hand is, I have questions asked me every day. It may be a 2-minute question, it may be a half hour. I got someone ask me some questions, so it isn't like it's just, you know, a couple hours a month. It's a little bit more than that. Thank you.
Just I agree with you on the chairman piece. If that was if the raise was going to the chairman's, I would have an easier time with it. I think because you're head of the Republican Party, it's a little bit different that people are asking you questions. Having been on council myself for a year, that's unusual. You do not get questions. And I would highly doubt that people are getting questions every day on that. Follow up. Yes, Alderperson Yads.
Tuesday and Thursday, we sit at a local restaurant and there's 5 of us there. I get peppered about what's going on with the city.
Mhm.
What's going on with Curry? What's going out there by Menards? What's going here? How come they're doing this? How come they tired the roads and they didn't put something down? I mean, it's just.
With other people.
I think there's a bar on Madison Street I could probably hang out on. But I just want to quick turn back. But 7 or 9 Aldermen, I have no issue with. I mean, if we go to 7, fine. I would think even 9 would be fine with me. But I agree, it should be lowered, no matter what.
Alderperson Fisher.
Mayor, thank you. I just wanted to throw this note out. I forgot to mention it on when I spoke earlier. This passed the administrative committee after discussion by a vote to 6-1.
And again, I go back to the tying the hands of our budgeting. I asked in consideration on thinking about when that you are putting this through before we even know what our budget is. And what are we gonna have to cut so that you can get this? Alderperson Anderson.
Yes, I would kind of go down the same road. I think this is irresponsible. Considering last time at budget time, we were all asked the question to cut benefits to city employees as a possible option. And now we're entertaining a raise for ourselves. That's just ridiculous to me. I've always said this is a public service we're doing. Yes, if you know people that were sad that they lost their position and they really needed the money, I would argue they lost their position because they're doing it for the wrong reasons. You don't do it for the money. Anyone sitting in this room that's doing it for the money, maybe you should seriously think about not running next time, because that's not what the government should be. In my opinion, that's a huge issue with the government is people are doing it for the money, not to help the community. They're simply doing it for the money or for the fame or the status or whatever it is. They're not doing it to help people. They're doing it to help their pocketbook. And that's just ridiculous. As far as the size, yes, it's, we have the lowest, per population for older person. Again, what I've always said, that's not a negative in my opinion. That's something we should be very proud of, that we are representing our community. Our community has, I don't know how to compare it to, possibly like classroom sizes. If you're teaching a classroom size of 20, the kids get more interaction with you. If you have a classroom size of 35 or 40, that's not manageable for a classroom. So, to lower the amount of older men, we've been doing fine. Yes, we haven't gotten a raise in 20 some years or whatever, but honestly, we're probably overpaid back then by a substantial amount of money, so yes, we're fine. We're probably still overpaid now. I don't agree with the 9 hours. I'd say it's more like 10 to 12 because yes, people should be reading before the meetings. They should be fielding questions during the week. Again, I know for a fact, not very many people do, but you ought to be. But even at like 10 hours, you're looking at, $32 an hour. That's, that's not chump change. That's a pretty reasonable amount to be doing this job. I just, both discussions, I just wouldn't support. I don't think we need to reduce aldermen. I don't think we need a pay raise. And again, if you're worried about the money, I don't think you should be doing this job.
Okay, I'm gonna thank you, Alderperson Anderson, but I'm gonna just bring it back and saying, let's just discuss the ordinance moving forward now. I did bring up the number of alderpersons. That's been a discussion that we'll look into, and I think that was kind of felt like we're gonna do that. This is on the ordinance repealing and recreating section 2.5 to establish salaries of alderpersons. Please keep the discussion to that now. Alderpersons up. So
I'll try, but they're linked. They are linked. I'll echo what Alder Anderson said. I'm not doing this for the money. We're doing this because we want to help the community. I agree that we're overpaid. If somebody wants to make a motion with me to reduce our salary, I'm there. Let's talk about it. Let's go down to, if you look at pay per citizen, 324. If you look at all the other cities, they're in the twos. So we should be talking about a pay reduction. Why do I want this? Because I am worried about where this discussion is going. Let's jack our pay up and then let's cut our alders. That's a power grab. That's blatant power grab. That is the concentration of power in fewer individuals to make decisions. That's power grab.
That's going back to the discussion about
Right.
reducing. Let's not have that discussion, please.
But
We're talking
they
about
are
wages.
They are linked. So I would say let's just vote this thing down and be done with it. Or if anything, I'll make a motion right now. Let's decrease our pay to, what are we at, 325 a month? I'll make a motion that we go down to 300 a month. So, thank you.
There's a motion on the floor to reduce by $25, sorry. $25 a month to 300. Nathan. All right, to 300 a month. Is there a second?
Can I?
Yes.
I got
yes,
to
please.
clarification. We have a motion on the floor currently. Are we allowed to?
Make a motion to
Making a
amend.
motion to
Making a
amend.
motion
the
Okay,
to
I
amend
didn't
it
hear the
to-
word amend before.
Sorry, I'm making
Sorry.
a motion to amend the ordinance or amend the motion to reduce our pay to 300 per month, beginning
you.
in April 2025.
Thank you, Alderperson Zopp. So is there a second on that motion? Alderperson Anderson. Thank you. All right, comments or questions then about reducing monthly wage? If there are no questions, then we'll go to vote. Yes. Mhm.
We're voting on the ordinance as written with an amendment,
No, you're voting
No.
on the amendment first.
just the amendment.
Just the amendment.
Okay, thank you.
Just the amendment that the ordinance would then say that instead of an increase, there would be the decrease, correct?
Right, so the ordinance would be
Yeah.
basically rewritten to
Yeah.
say $300 per month.
Yeah, okay. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, please call the roll.
Anderson,
Hi.
Appenfelt,
No.
Burnett,
No.
Faree,
Aye.
Fisher,
No.
Hanson,
Hi.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
No.
Perkins,
Hi.
Wassell,
No,
Yads,
No.
Zap.
Aye.
I lost track.
6-6.
6-6.
So someone has to break the tie.
So the mayor votes no on that, so it'll stay as it is. Okay?
It's because you laughed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, so we're back to the original ordinance though, and whether that gets carried through or not. So, all right, back to ordinance number 7, 2023. Questions or comments? Alderperson Wissell.
Well, because this really is tied to the number of bodies here in 2025, I'm going to move that we table this indefinitely until we get more resolve from council as to the effect or application of a reduction.
In the council size
Right.
and what number that would look like.
Yeah, we need to get more information from our city attorney as to the process to make sure it works. By doing this indefinitely, that means we can bring it back at any point whenever it's ready.
Okay, so now there's a motion to table, to bring this back after some research and looking at that. Is there a second?
There is a
Alderperson?
second.
All right, second by Alderperson Hanson. Yes, Alderperson Anderson.
Would you not do the same exact thing by simply voting no against this?
Just calling the question. Probably, yes, Alderperson Burnett.
You guys realize that we'd have to have this done before December. That doesn't give you much time to get the charter changed.
I
Get
don't think I don't think you'd have to do that. You could say in 2027.
Well, unless you
right.
move it out 2 more years.
Right, you could do
But
that.
if you don't get it done before December, you gotta move it out 2 more years,
That's what this was.
another 2 elections.
This ordinance was saying 2 years from now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We had to do that because of the split council. And but now you'd have to move it out 2 more years.
Yes, Alderperson so.
I don't think it'll take that long to get clarification. We should be able to vote on this by October, certainly.
All right, any other comments then? Otherwise, the vote then is you vote yes, if you're saying we're gonna. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
If you vote yes, you're saying we're tabling it, we're gonna do some research. If you vote no, you're saying we're gonna still go back to this original ordinance to vote on.
Appenfelt,
No.
Burnett,
No.
Free,
Aye.
Fisher,
No.
Hanson,
Aye.
Keel,
No.
Olson, Perkins,
Yes.
Wissell,
Yes.
Yads,
Yes.
Zap,
No.
Anderson.
No.
Another tie.
It's a tie, so that'll be tabled. I vote yes on that. All right. Thank you. Good discussion again. I appreciate everyone's input. We're moving on to resolutions.
Hang on a second. Resolution number 65-2023, a resolution to deny the claim of Vicky Radel for damages incurred from a slip and fall incident at the former Public Works facility.
I'd entertain a motion to discuss. Alderperson Wissell, thank you.
I would so
Second,
move.
is there a second? Alderperson Perkins?
Second.
Thank you. Comments, questions, concerns about resolution 65? Yes, Alderperson.
Is this gonna be sent to the insurance then after this, or what? Are we just denying it point blank, or how's this work?
We'll hear from Rick.
Yeah, so this is the first step of the process. Really, they submit the claim to the city asking it to be paid out. If you deny it, then their option would be to file a lawsuit, which at that point, it would be submitted to your insurance company, and they would defend the city.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Burnett,
Aye.
Free,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Wissell,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Zap,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Appenfelt.
Aye.
All right, moving on to resolution 66.
Resolution number 66-2023, a resolution for inclusion under the State of Wisconsin Deferred Compensation Program.
Thank you, Ms. Perrin. Is there a motion to discuss resolution 66? Alderperson Free.
I'll make them.
And thank you, Alderperson Hanson. Comments, questions about resolution 66? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Free.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Hanson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Perkins.
Aye.
Wissell.
Aye.
Yuds.
Aye.
Zap.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Eppenfeld.
Aye.
Burnett.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution passes.
Resolution number 67-2023, a resolution awarding the contract for the 109 Ryan Contafio's Way site demolition and abatement project.
Thank you, Ms. Farren. Is there a motion to discuss? Thank you, Alderperson Hanson, second by Alderperson Zop. Thank you. Comments, questions? Yes.
Could I mention that we had some great competitive bidding? We had 6 bidders. And I believe as it went, we will be turning some of the budgeted money, some of our ARPA funds that we budgeted will be returning back into the ARPA budget, right? Am I phrasing that correctly, or did we over budget for ARPA for this and we're giving them back? No, I misunderstood. Okay, I misunderstood.
I don't think that's a very.
I thought we over budgeted.
No. It'll be used for other costs at the site.
Okay.
Those ARPA funds.
We had received higher estimates and it came under those estimated budgeted dollars. So, but the funding source and so forth, that's not as clear and I don't want to go through, we're here late.
Okay.
If you have question, you can come talk to Todd and I.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, please call the roll.
Fisher. Hanson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Perkins.
Aye.
Wissell.
Aye.
Yuds.
Aye.
Zop.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Eppenfeld.
Aye.
Burnett.
Aye.
Free.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution passes. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Alderperson Burnett. Thank you. Second by Wissell. Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed. Have a great night.